Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. This is your host, Josh Chapman speaking, and today we're back from the beach. Although this will probably come out before the beach episodes because the team is back. They've reunited and it feels so good. But I've actually had jokes about having these two guests in on the podcast separately before they got back on their own podcast, which is now I've got them...
Did it almost happen?
No, it's happened. I had you on, and then I had you on, and now I've got you together on my one
Josh
again.
Josh is visually pointing at us.
I am pointing at you.
Listeners.
And it's Andy and Catherine from that Geek Pod. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
How's your summer going?
I've been working through it. How's yours, Catherine?
Well, a teacher life loves the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Keep me away from that blackboard. Well, it's not even blackboard, is it?
Whiteboard.
That just shows how long ago I was at school.
Yeah, or whiteboards.
Whiteboards,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dust from the chalk, I did do one teaching round where we had chalkboards, and I came home filthy just from the chalk all over my skirt and just bad.
Coughing up
It's
purple
like
dust.
sand. It gets everywhere.
So you guys have come over. I've been down the beach. I've recorded a few episodes down there, but they'll probably come out after this. This is a little 2019, what's going to happen? What are we looking forward to? I guess preview show. Everybody keeps saying preview shows. Everyone's doing their previews. We can do that. Why not? Why not us? We can do it as well. So I just thought I'd bring the big guns in and saw them. Actually, I saw you guys not that long ago. Actually, we've had a few joint functions that we've been at things.
Right,
although, just up front is that you guys went to the Empire Strikes Back with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
And I didn't go.
No.
Because my daughter was born on that day. My new daughter was born that day.
Yeah.
So
I remember thinking, like, the night before, it was about 9 o'clock, you were fine. Yeah, all was fine. I think we texted that there was no signs. Oh, yeah, Josh is coming.
yeah, well, we'd had an appointment. I won't go into all the details, but we had an appointment with the doctor a couple of days earlier, and they're like, nah, man, this baby's not going anywhere. Sit in tight. You'll be back here in a week, and then we'll book in the induction, and then we'll be inducing at the end of the week, and nothing's going to happen. And then, Friday night, it all kicked off. And then by 3 a.m., the baby was here. So, yeah, unfortunately, I could not make it. But from what I heard, it was...
Oh, no, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It was
just fantastic. Like, hearing the Imperial March on the Symphony Orchestra is just... Yeah.
and the Asteroid Field scene.
Yeah.
That's the one that's probably my favourite Star Wars scene.
I think that
really
got the crowd really going.
That really bummed me that I didn't get to see that. But at the same time, it was okay. Sacrifices have to be made.
Yeah, and we've got Jedi this year, so...
Yeah, well, I'm not having any more children, so that is done. There's no chance of that happening again.
Unless the apocalypse happens, then we'll
Well, if that happens, what's the date for that?
November sometime.
So it's sort of lead into episode 9.
Yeah.
It's not right before.
Yeah, no,
because I think the Force Awakens one we saw was like a week before episode 8, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, about a week before. So, November's a nice little gap.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a nice little gap, so we're not packing all of our Star Wars into 7 days, which is good. But I was going to say that, I'd only ever seen Empire on the big screen when the special editions had come out.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And so this was, again, seeing Empire on the big screen.
It was the special edition as well, was it?
Yeah.
I assumed it was. I think that's the only one they let them show publicly anyway now, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
I think
Empire,
it's by law now.
Yeah.
It's by law. It's Lucas law. Lucasfilm law.
Lucasfilm law.
But Empire, I think, is being touched the least, or it's the most subtle changes in terms
I'm just
of
thinking
special
there's
edition.
Wampa, extra Wampas, there's Vader's shuttle, there's sort of extension stuff on Cloud City, isn't there? There's more windows and
Cloud
City's
there's a
much
little bit
more
of
prettier.
exterior Cloud City stuff. And I think it's just matte lines and, clearing up some special effects and things. And
Yeah, so it's pretty fine, really. I think the Vader's shuttle bit is the only bit where you go, really? That wasn't necessary.
Yep.
But every other bit you kind of go, well, that's cleaning up matte lines. Yes, the Hoth scenes you think, oh, well, that's probably what they wanted at the time
Yep.
but couldn't do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not too bad. Extra wampa. To be
I don't mind
honest,
that.
I
Yeah.
barely notice. Like, I don't really know the
Yep.
difference. So in that way, sort of the Empire Special Edition is fine. But yeah, I was going to say that the this time I think I teared up with the Princess and the Smuggler theme when that came on, and of course at the I Love You, I Know.
Yeah, that scene got
I
a
cried.
round of... I think everyone clapped. It was a round
Well,
of
I
applause
cried
and cheering.
because I cry.
I think that's...
Catherine's a crier.
I was
Yes.
sitting next to our friend Michael, and I think he was doing a...
In my seat, no less.
Yeah.
He was doing a still
Michael-
of leaning forward and... Oh my god! And like almost clapping and stuff. He was just like
Shout
all
out,
over it.
shout out to Michael if you're listening, because he took my seat. So he had a seat up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
And we had the premium seats, and then it was the last minute I couldn't go, and luckily he stood up and stood in and got to use the seat, because it would have
Yes,
really bummed me if no one had used the seat.
Yes, he was very sad to use that seat.
Yeah.
Very sad.
I'm glad someone did. I could have actually technically have gone, in case you don't know, that at least if you go to the Royal Women's, if you have the baby, the men get sent home after about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So, although we'd been up for about 48 hours by then. So to sort of duck down for a bit of Empire Strikes Back was a little bit too...
I'm sure you needed the sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty deep... You kind of... I mean, it's different. Second time around, to be honest, I won't go into too much baby talk, but the first time when you get sent home, it's just like, what the hell is going on? What just happened? What are we in for? Second time, it's a bit like, oh, yeah, they'll be fine. Baby's fine. It's all good. You know,
Yeah.
not to worry about. So how was your Star Wars Christmases? Did you guys get some sweet score? You know, who got what?
Who got
what? Toot, toot, toot.
Well, very sadly, at my Kris Kringle at work, no Star Wars present, which I was a bit annoyed about. It's a bit, come on, I'm giving you something on a platter here. Star Wars.
Easy buys.
Easy buys, and they didn't do it.
Get me a mug or something. No.
Oh, well, speaking of mugs, that's what I got. Just a mug.
I got
A Darth
a
Vader mug.
Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, which is, I'm just over there.
Yep.
I felt like Christmas because I got a bunch of Black Series that people delivered me. That Catherine got me some Black Series stuff, and Dale, our buddy Dale Williams, who's been on, got me some stuff as well. So it felt like Christmas to me because I got given some. So I've actually had to create a little bit more shelf space at the bottom there.
Yeah.
I had to throw out some of my Black Series vehicle boxes because I'm like, what am I really keeping them for?
Yeah.
So they've
Well-
gone.
Well, I did get some things for my birthday, which is near Christmas, but yours is even closer to Christmas.
Yes, mine is the day before Christmas. Did I get anything? I might have actually technically got the Trivial Pursuit for my birthday, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember. It's a bit weird. It's always a bit of a blur. Everything, one thing goes.
It all
and-
just merges.
It all just
Yeah.
merges. It all just merges. But it, I got enough stuff on the walls. Really, another box of CDs from my parents, which was really encouraging. So I've got to, find somewhere to put all that stuff. But anyway, Star Wars. Let's get back on the Star Wars. So there was a couple of stuff on Twitter today, just before we came on here. There was a report saying that the Episode 9 title apparently is a line from Episode 8.
Yeah. That's
So these
nice.
things are always like, take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Hope that spark of hope.
I think there was a New Order. I think that was kind of...
Well, that's been my title from. I think we ever tried to guess what the next name of the movie would be.
Yep.
I think. I don't know, from my memory, I think I've always suggested, New Order sounds good, but then it's so close to the band New Order.
How does it feel?
Yeah.
I think that's a New Order. I don't remember. I always get my Joy... I mean, Joy Division and New Order are technically almost the same band. But
Yeah.
we won't go into music history right now. But, so I thought maybe it would be,
But I've also heard that
Tooling,
Spark
Episode
one.
9, Tooling with You, or something like that.
Well, the Tooling movie would be good. Or, I don't know, maybe Episode 9, 5 bloody minutes ago. That would be good.
It would be good if it was just a really, sort of like, what? I always think Phantom Menace was always like, what?
Yeah.
You know when that came out? Because it was sort of episode 1 for so long, and I remember when it kind of got announced.
Phantoms are like ghosts, right? So is there ghosts in the movie?
Yeah, I just remember people going, Phantom Menace, that's... that because it was always just like Dawn of the Jedi or Birth of the Force. It was always those really... every time someone does a title, it's always those obvious sort of young adult book reading ones.
Yeah, so... Yeah, because that Phantom Menace is very 30s serial. And I guess all the...
Attack of the Clones is as well, really.
Yeah.
And then Revenge of the Sith just sort of... I think that was one everybody just pegged from the jump, really, that it was going to be Revenge of the Sith.
And Revenge, obviously.
Revenge of the Jedi.
Revenge of the Jedi.
Yep.
But, no, do you think it'll... the joke being that The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, will that sentence continue?
Oh, well, I've seen the joke of, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi from his nap.
Yeah.
Like, that's one that's gone around.
Well,
but,
yeah.
I don't know. Whatever name they pick, it's going to sound fine. Like,
It's
they
too
always
bad. We're stuck with it. It doesn't make any
strange.
difference.
They always sound strange the first time you hear them. It's that getting used to them.
Yeah, I think...
I know, Last Jedi was pretty on point.
Last Jedi, Force Awakens, you're a bit like, okay, that makes sort of feels...
They're back. It's Awaken.
It wasn't anything... Yeah, I didn't really give it that much thought, but I mean, we're pretty close to a title.
Yeah.
Just judge on when they usually drop them. I think we've discussed this before. It always seems like it's earlier in the year.
And with, the Super Bowl approaching, that's sort of,
Yeah, well, there won't be... I don't think there'll be any... Well, talking about what's coming up in the year. So I've got my little list here that courtesy of Entertainment Weekly. So that might be the Brez. It is the Brez.
Nice.
So we're just stealing the Brez's content. So I'll just go down the list. We'll just lift directly from the article. But the first thing we talk about, Episode 9. We've already talked about Episode 9 quite a lot. We've talked about titles. We've talked about plots. And I think a few weeks ago there was some talk that John Boyega had said that it was going to take a year. Well, but then he kind of recanted, didn't he?
Yeah, he came out saying, no, I haven't done any interviews about it.
Or I don't remember that.
Or I don't remember saying anything like that. Yeah,
unless someone's like, shut up,
John. I don't...
Feels weird that he would just drop that.
I don't feel like that's the sort of... I feel like that's sort of a StarWars.com. They give us the title and then like...
They give a little blurb.
A blurb about what's happened, something about it. That's when they would give us the timeline.
Yeah, I think everyone has assumed some kind of time jump because
Can't be a year.
Having
Could be a year.
7 and 8, one after the other.
Year minimum, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's too soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind a year.
Like, what possibly can they do within a year after what we saw in The Last Jedi?
Yeah, but you would have said that in Episode 7 and been like, oh, what? You can jump into the next day, Yeah, I'd be cool with a year because I like that would mean that Rey is sort of... I think Empire and Jedi are a year, aren't they?
I thought they were
It's
6
debatable.
months.
It's debatable how long there is between them. There's not huge length of time because it doesn't take
because they're on the run.
That doesn't take Lando that long to find where Han is. I think the biggest question though is how long is Empire? That's the biggest debate.
Well, how does Luke become really good all of a sudden after he gets his butt kicked in Empire? The next time we see him, he's got no extra training.
That time, yes.
And then all of a sudden he turns up and he's kicking butt and taking names, but he got his ass handed to him by Vader. Got no extra training in between that time, but all of a sudden is just down with it.
I count that as a few months. But they just don't mention it.
No, they don't mention time, which is very smart. They just sort of...
But in these recent movies, we've got time being said all the time.
Well, I mean, obviously Last Jedi is obvious because you're dipping directly into a scene.
And they're being chased, so you sort of need that.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's not really much else to add on Episode 9 that hasn't already been said. I feel like we're excited. We're all here for it. I mean, everything kind of revolves around it. All the other things that happen are all going to be basically offshoots of what happens with episode
like
9.
we're
I
all
think
going to see it, so
yeah, but I think that the rampant speculation will raise once we know these little details, and once we start getting a title, and once we start getting some some timelines and
new Lego sets. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So you guys spoiler free?
Yeah.
Yeah, only Lucas approved spoilers for me. So
yeah, same as
And
me.
avoiding TV spots. I avoid those.
Yeah, teaser trailers and proper trailers, but you're right. Avoiding TV spots. They seem to have a lot in them.
Because I saw those solo ones and I'm like, okay, that's like the last act. Like once I saw the film, I saw one of the 2 TV spots and I'm like, oh my God, that you're basically showing the last scene with Kira. Like, yeah.
I guess it's all context and stuff, though, isn't
That's
it?
true,
But
yeah.
But the movie ones, because it's always that week before it comes out, they start heavily pushing all the TV spots. It's like, turn it off. It's like, I don't need to know. I don't need to see any more TV spots.
Yeah.
Don't talk about them. Don't tell me them. I'll just start them. All right. Yeah. So, everything's going to revolve around episode 9. We'll probably come back to episode 9. So the next thing on the Brez's list here is Luke, Leia, and Lando.
What about them?
Well, I think it's just that they're back.
Yeah.
Lando's back. I mean, Luke and Leia are back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're going to assume there'll be no interaction between the 3 of them. Leia and Lando, I don't know. I mean, because you've got this Leia footage, so if she looks like she's talking to Lando and they can stick Billy D on the other side and she says, hi, hello, and then he goes, hello, it's good to see you.
What have we here?
Oh, you haven't aged a day.
Lando, why do you keep saying that? You know who I am.
I don't know, you're just a little bit of a just dirty old
I've met
man
so
now.
many ladies. I apologize.
It's been another 30 years. Lando's been around the block a few times. So, yeah, look, I think, Leia and Luke, potentially you might see... I mean, you could even have a thing where Leia stares off into the distance and sees Luke,
Oh, it senses him, I guess.
Yeah, so you can do that pretty easily. You can just, without obviously cutting around whatever footage they have of Carrie. So the Lando might be a little bit more difficult. So unless you can find, I guess if you had footage of her rolling her eyes at Han, you could repurpose that for rolling her eyes at Lando.
Or speaking to him via a communicator or something. Yeah.
I mean, I like you said, they keep saying that they've got lots of footage and stuff to choose from. So they did have 2 movies worth of stuff that they've shot. So I guess we'll just have to see. But I know, I think we'll see Lando, but I don't think we're going to get stacks and stacks of Lando. I think it'll be similar to the amount of sort of Leia that we've had in the last couple of movies.
Yeah.
They haven't lent heavily on legacy characters, and they've always tried to have them there and honour them without using them to particularly drive the story for. I think it's really going to be Rey and Finn all the way. And
Rose?
Oh, yeah, and I think Rose and Poe and those guys will be there, but I think they'll be the driving...
Oh, the driving.
They'll come back to that. I think that'll be... they started the journey together, and I think they'll finish the journey together to a point, I think. Hopefully. Yeah. I don't really want to see Finn off on his own little side adventure. I want them all, Return of the Jedi style, all on a mission. They can all be there together. They can all 5 of them.
I just want to see Rey work with Poe.
Yeah, look, I think it'll be similar to a Jedi thing where they'll all be on a thing together and Rey will be separated at one point to deal with Kylo.
That's true, yeah.
Because it is odd that our core group have not all worked together as a core group.
No.
Our core...
They've all hung out in the Falcon for a little bit. Well, in the comics, the Poe Dameron comics that take place after The Last Jedi, there's Finn and Poe and Rey sitting around the table, what's the table called, Andy? Quick, Catherine.
Oh, the game.
Yeah, Jagesh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the chess table.
The chess table, and they're kind of filling each other in of what's been happening and stuff. So it's quite cool.
Yeah, so that bit has got the 3 of them interacting, which is really the only time, which is odd for your core group of 3 on the one side, which essentially they are.
But the funny thing about Poe is that he wasn't conceived to be part of a core 3. No. That he was actually supposed to die in Force Awakens, and it was sort of the power of the personality of Oscar Isaac, I think, that they kind of kept him around, and that he became a more... so it wasn't originally like a Han, Luke, Leia dynamic. It was really about Finn and Rey, and then Poe, sort of by force of personality, I think, has sort of become the other
And Oscar Isaac's a great actor.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you consider them the three, or do you consider them? Is it Finn and Ray and the rest?
I would say it's the three. Yeah,
I'd
Poe.
say-
The Ron, Harry, and Hermione.
Especially the way Poe got a bigger arc in The Last Jedi. It's definitely the three.
He's definitely stepping
and
up.
how Leia was preparing him to be a leader.
But they're all separate stories, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
And I
is
feel
that-
like they're all going to come together. And they did. They're all in the Falcon.
Yeah, but it could be a year. Well, we'll see. It could be the next day. We don't know. All right. So we've hit that. Okay, here we go. Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
With the wackiest cast, including Nick Nolte and Carl Weathers amongst people. But we've got Pedro
and
Pascal.
Werner Herzog.
Oh, Werner Herzog, yeah. I
didn't know I wanted all this cast together until it came together, and I'm so all on
It's a
board
Looney
now.
Tunes cast, isn't it? There's nobody under. I don't know how old Pedro Pascal is, or Gina, the other, but there's nobody under 30 in there.
Yeah, I think early 40s maybe he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm all in. I'm all in on this cast. That you're right. That in no sense should these people all be in the one project together. But I've got to see it. I've got to see them all working together because individually, fantastic, and then together, yeah.
Have you guys got Stan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've already had it, or is this in preparation?
No, I already got it.
Already had it. Yeah. Yep. Same here. So it looks like that we're going to get it on Stan. So all the Disney stuff's gone off Netflix and it's gone to Stan now. So if you go to Stan, all the Disney, Marvel, Star Wars stuff is all on
Yeah.
Stan now. So
does that include the future Disney Plus
well,
stuff?
we don't know, but it's looking like that's what's going on.
Because it makes sense. Like, why would you sign a deal with Disney when they are just about to release?
Yeah.
streaming
So I think that
service?
basically they've gone, we're not going to get it up and running in some countries. So we will go to whoever's not Netflix,
Yeah.
basically.
So it's sort of like with Netflix, with the sorry to mention Star Trek on the Star Wars podcast, but
That's cool. We're all friends here.
NBC has their streaming app.
CBS.
CBS, that's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
And Netflix bought the international rights for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something like that.
But
So-
now, the CBS is here in Australia in the form of 10 All Access.
Okay.
But from what I've heard, that apart from the Survivor content, it's pretty rubbish.
Here we go. We're on the Survivor podcast again. All of a sudden, we've hit Catherine's weird. She's managed to get it in there somehow.
Yeah, and I'll probably get my 1 month free of that All Access to watch some Survivor or do a bit of a deal. But yeah.
Yep.
So would that mean Star Trek would, once that contract
See,
starts?
I think
don't
so,
know.
yeah, 'cause I think
once it's done, but how long that deal is done for, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, so I don't think Resistance is on Stan because I think it was already
No,
a done deal to
'cause
be on
Rebels
Fox.
is now there.
Yeah. So I think it just depends on what pre-existing deals are done. But they haven't announced it, but all signs are pointing to that Star Wars content being on Stan, which would
Okay.
be great because
Oh, of course.
it's already got
as
it.
long as we get, like, if they're not doing all the episodes right at once, or it's week by week. I hope it's week by week, but I also hope that we get it
The day that
the day.
They
The
can't
day.
take that risk though.
No.
They
Yeah,
just
'cause
like Australia's
people are just
the
gonna
worst
pirate.
pirates.
Yeah.
We're notorious because we've been effed over for decades on content.
and then they
So
complain about it, and it's like, yeah, but you're the ones who's restricted.
But this has been also my issue with Disney XD here in Australia for the whole Rebels and Resistance run
Yeah.
is that it's on the Disney XD channel here on Foxtel, and yet episodes are up 2 to 3 weeks after they are released in America. You just
and-
can't do that.
And iTunes, it's like the current episode would happen, and then you go on iTunes, and they're still back. On iTunes, it's still episode 3. It's
I feel like
we're
this
up to
is-
6.
I feel like the on the Disney XD channel itself to be that far behind
Yeah.
is inexcusable.
Because there's articles on StarWars.com, social media, people are chatting. It's like, why are you doing so?
They can air Game of Thrones the same time
but they
as
won't.
the US.
well, I guess it's a different beast, isn't it? So I think they
Yeah, right.
underestimate. They just go, well, Game of Thrones we can't muck around with because.
No.
Yeah.
But they're going like, oh, there's a few hardcore Star Wars people who download it.
Fox
But
don't
for the
have to
most
pay
of
extra
people,
money to get the live.
Like
feed from HBO.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, Mandalorian. So, that's looking like that we are going to get that when we get it, and we'll be able to watch it legally, which is good. You know, we want to support the supporters. So, Clone Wars Season 7.
Woohoo!
Hashtag Clone Wars saved.
Hashtag, yes. They have to repeat what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think they said 12 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I remember them saying. Yeah, 12 episodes.
So,
Wait.
I'll have to check and see if Clone Wars is on Stan, actually. I have a feeling...
I've got the whole series on my Apple TV.
Oh, I've got the whole series to download. I'm just more about going, do they have the series? And if it
stream.
comes... If they drop it, will it be on Stan like the other stuff?
Oh, the new series, sorry. Yeah.
So, I mean, I have a feeling that they might drop the first episode around Celebration time. They probably will preview one around
they
there.
did that with Rebels.
Yeah.
They showed the first... I think they show all the first episodes.
I'm looking at Star Wars now on my Stan app. I'm
Here
seeing
we
Star Wars The Last Jedi, Star Wars Rebels.
I think that's it. It's just those... It's just The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Why no Force Awakens?
Well, usually those they're only up for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
The streaming
Yeah.
stuff.
It'll probably be on rotation.
So it probably means that soon Last Jedi will drop off and Solo will
And
go
then
on.
Solo will come on. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they don't have the whole back catalogue, but yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just have, but I think they got a bunch. Because I was watching some Marvel stuff, but that was weird because they had heaps of Marvel movies, but they weirdly didn't have some of them.
Yeah.
Like, there was
they
like-
picked the sort of good ones.
But it was
No, the very weird omissions.
Yeah, there was like Civil War wasn't on there, but like Winter Soldier was
Soldier's
on.
there, yeah.
And then I think it was one of the Iron Mans was missing, or one of the Thors was missing. It was just really weird for some reason. It was like, well, why are you showing this? Because it didn't seem like, oh, those ones are too old because they had like the original Iron Man. But then they didn't have, for some reason, these other weird. But anyway.
But it could be the same thing as the Star Wars. Like, it's just on rotation.
Yeah, it could
so,
be.
Maybe you'll get Civil War next month. Like,
Could be.
yeah.
But
So-
they've got all of the James Bonds, which I've got to hit again.
There's an idea. There's a few nights in.
I've got the
I
Blu-ray
got
of this.
halfway through watching them all chronologically when Stan pulled them the last time. So
So you're not going to go back to the start, though, are you? You're going to pick up where you left off?
yeah, yeah, I guess.
Start at George Lazenby or whatever and work your way up. So, yeah, Clone Wars Season 7. I like Clone Wars. I'll watch it out of interest, but I'm not sort of frothing. I don't know about you guys.
I'm excited. But I wouldn't say I'm like waiting at, sort of like waiting for the mailman.
Are you feeling like expectation for a resolution? It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because it's like, well, Revenge of the Sith is sort of the resolution.
Yeah.
So how
I'm
do you...
curious to know how we get there.
Yeah. I mean, would you like them to sort of end it with them stepping onto those Jedi starfighters and then Revenge of the Sith starts and they're in the,
Yeah.
So basically...
Like
the
the Chancellor gets kidnapped.
Yes,
yeah,
and
and
that
then
was-
you basically lead right into Revenge.
Yeah.
I think that was always the plan
Yeah.
the Clone Wars to go basically
to
to that abduction of the Chancellor.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I always like Clone Wars in terms of how it you got to see more of Anakin's fall, that you got to see more of the glimpses into his dark side, as it were, before Revenge of the Sith. So I think it made his fall to the dark side make more sense.
Especially his frustrations. You
Yes.
could really...
Yeah. But you also got to see the very bad relationship between Anakin and Padme. You saw a lot of that in the movies, but you saw even more of it in the Clone Wars. It's a really possessive, really toxic relationship between the two of them, and it's in a cartoon. It's kind of amazing.
I actually just watched... This is nothing the same, but when I was down the beach, I actually watched... Have you ever seen Sid and Nancy? Do you know what that is?
It's about Sid Vicious and
Yeah, Nancy Spungen or whatever her name
Yeah.
is. Yeah, so Sid Vicious was in the Sex Pistols, and it's the story of them. They're basically the most destructive couple you could ever imagine. They're basically,
okay.
they're both total junkies, and total codependencies, and and it basically ends very badly for the both of them in the end and stuff. But yeah, I don't think Anakin and Padme were quite at Sid and Nancy levels.
No.
It's quite a fascinating film. To be honest, the first half is more interesting when it's sort of like about the Sex Pistols and the band and stuff, and then it just bemes like two junkies in a hotel room kind of yelling at each other, and you're like, this is kind of, I know this is going to end badly. But anyway, Clone Wars. Just like Sid and Nancy. Padme and Anakin, just like Sid and Nancy.
They're drug addicts? Question mark?
The Sid and Nancy of the galaxy. There's the episode title. All right, here we go, guys. Star Wars Celebration Chicago.
Woohoo!
My number one.
Now, Andy, when I saw you just after Christmas, you were talking about how you were, everything was ready to go, but you haven't quite had your leave approved from your job yet.
Oh, yeah.
So where are we at?
It's approved.
So nothing's going to stop you now.
It's all good to go. 2 weeks, all good. We're now looking for our accommodation for New York. And then just give my cousin...
I thought you were just sleeping at Emily Lynn's house.
Oh, no.
Just show up at her front door.
I'm sure her apartment's not big enough for both of us.
Hi.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Do you have a good couch?
She's
there,
like, I'll
Emily?
take you out to dinner one night. But
Well, she's already said she's going to take my partner and I out for noodles. So we've got that happening.
Awesome.
But no, we just have to plan New York.
So that'll be, is that pre-celebration or post-celebration?
It's pre. We're doing 4 days, 4 nights in New York.
So you do...
And then head to Chicago.
New York, tour with Emily Lind, and then just catch up again at celebration like a few days later.
We'll be like, hey, again.
Hey, again.
Then head on down to see my cousin for 3 nights in Virginia. Then head home.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Great trip. Yeah, I'm going to Houston for a few days first to visit friends in Houston. So that'll be great. And then hitting Celebration, where I get to, hug all these people like Eric and Brittany and Emily.
Can't wait to see Eric. I'm so excited.
I think we're all excited.
I think Eric's probably the one I want to see more than anyone.
Dallas,
Yeah.
Brittany, Emily, Steele,
Yeah.
Johnny, Hawes.
Can't wait to see Hawes. Yeah, and then just the randos as well, and just meeting people, hopefully just cool people.
That's it,
That's just, and I think, you'll just be surprised that you'll run into people that probably from your own hometown that you didn't even realize were there, and it'll just be fun. I just want to have a fun time. I don't want any dramas. I don't want any
I can't see any
dicks. I don't want any of that. I just want to have a good time, I think we've touched on this. It's just I guess it's the stuff that surrounds it as well. It's the thing that's interesting to me as well. As there, because we're coming in kind of the day before. We're all staying at the same place, but the celebration sort of was it Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or was it Thursday? Anyway.
Oh, there's like
the preview night.
Preview night's Thursday.
Yeah.
Then day one is Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have like a day, in town before.
Oh, of course.
And the lead in and stuff as well. So it'll be all the sort of extracurricular activities and things. So it's going to be that balance between sort of wanting to do things all the time and also not wanting to burn out completely, by day 3.
Because I burn out quick.
So I was just managing that. I was looking up the other day, just going like, I wonder what the weather's like in Chicago on average. And so I think it's about 13 degrees is the average in April. So it's going to be comparable to a sort of a Melbourne winter, I think.
Yeah. So in the Boxing Day sales here, I did buy myself a nice warm jacket.
Oh, nice.
Nice puffy jacket, yes, on Boxing Day.
Well, I'll just get I lived in London for a long time, so I'm pretty good with the cold.
Yeah,
so you just get the old thermals, you get a jacket, you take a scarf, you take a beanie, take some gloves.
Yeah.
You'll be golden. Just take lots of socks, keep your socks dry, wear the most comfortable shoes you can. You'll be on your feet a lot. And there you go. There's your celebration survival kit. Drink lots of water.
Yeah, hydrate. Hydrate everyone.
Yeah. They still haven't released details of panels as yet, but we'd be guessing there's an Empire.
We've got a host though.
Yes, Warwick Davis. So I'm guessing.
So is he
there's an
the
Empire
host,
night
or is he just the only one they've announced?
on main stage? Host.
So they're saying he's probably Ep 9 host, or is it just?
No, he would probably do he might
do Phantom
Menace anniversary. He might do that.
He
might do like
on the previous live streams. He does a lot of the interview ones. So if Mark Hamill does one, he does it.
So we've sort of touched on likely attendees. I think we can assume episode 9 cast lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think pretty much anybody who's in it, bar Carrie, obviously, will be there. JJ will be there.
Yeah.
KK will be there.
Yeah.
And,
Mandalorian panel.
God, Nick Nolte and Carl Weathers on a panel.
Yeah, why not?
When we're talking about that crazy cast and like,
If they have questions, it's
man.
like,
what are you talking about? Where's Star Wars?
Big fan of you from Predator.
Man,
Can't say what I want to say,
that
but you're
could
awesome.
just be such a train wreck of a panel. I have
Mr.
to
Nolte,
be there.
Mr. Nolte, how does it feel to be in Star Wars? Star Wars? What the hell are you talking about? Star Wars? What are you talking about?
With Werner Herzog, the depressing German filmmaker. Oh my god!
And then they've got someone like Gwendolyn Christie who's trying to keep it all going. Like, Star Wars is awesome, isn't it? Everybody,
great
woo woo,
time,
give me a whoop
yeah.
whoop for Star Wars.
It's gotta be the best.
And it's like, he's still talking. I really enjoyed working. It's like,
And then
come
you
on.
throw a little bit of Taika Waititi in the mix, or
Yeah.
he's a little off the wall anyway. That would be great.
But yeah, no.
That could be the panel. I
definitely.
mean, obviously, episode 9 is like, yep, that's the panel
Yeah.
you want
The
to be
panel
to.
is
But the Mandalorian,
Phantom Menace 20th anniversary. That's
So-
huge.
who do we get?
Liam Neeson's going to be there.
You
And you
reckon?
gotta get him.
Ewan.
You gotta get him.
Ewan McGregor.
That would be a pretty big get.
And
Natalie Portman.
Ewan would do it.
I don't see Natalie.
Natalie's, I reckon, more up in the air. I can't remember his name, but the guy who played Palpatine, he'll be
Ian
there.
McDermott.
Oh, Ian
Yeah,
McDermott.
McDermott would be pretty
Yeah.
good. Rick McCallum.
Oh, get Rick there.
Dude, gotta get
Still
Rick
would
McCallum.
love that.
Jake Lloyd, unlikely. The
Unlikely.
redemption
I
of
think-
Jake Lloyd.
I think he's.
I'd love to see Ahmed Best there.
Yeah, Ahmed Best.
He's got to feel the
definitely.
love in the room. I think he needs a bit
Definitely
of love
Ahmed
in the
Best.
room.
But yeah, no, I don't think Jake Lloyd is
He's a bit troubled.
mentally there.
No, I think
Last
protect
time I
him
heard.
a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
He's
that.
got he's made his peace. He wants nothing
Yeah.
part of it.
I'm just trying to think who else. I mean, they're the big guns, aren't they?
yeah.
I mean, you and Liam Neeson, yeah. They're all... It's tricky, isn't it? Because a lot of them, they...
Space Jimmy Smith.
Was he... He wasn't in Phantom Menace, I don't think. I don't think he turned up till Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm just dreaming.
He still might, but we're not finished through the list yet.
Yeah.
So
Who knows? There
save,
could be
park
something
your
there,
Jimmy
Catherine.
Smiths for a second.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Phantom Menace 20th and episode 9.
Yep. I'm looking forward. I mean, the panels will be cool. I'm really, it's the social side of it and just
The
being
social
there
side, yeah.
is really. If I got locked out of the episode 9 panel for whatever reason, I'd be bummed, but it wouldn't be the end of the world.
No.
I feel like I'd get over
Because
it.
you'll know someone will be somewhere streaming it.
Well, it'll be.
and-
I'm assuming it probably just streams.
oh, yeah, it'll be at the convention.
yeah. So, we'll just see how we go.
I think the episode 9 one is the one that I really, really want to be at.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All the rest, supposing I'm like, yeah, could be good, could
So
be good.
you're 50-50?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously we don't know for sure. We're just
Depends
speculating.
who's there, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's like...
If Ewan McGregor was
Yeah.
there.
Man, for me, if Liam Neeson said, like, oh my god, Qui-Gon? Yeah, I'm there. And I'm at best, like, yeah.
We can all speculate about Ewan's beard, whether it's
Oh my
Obi-Wan
God.
Oh, wouldn't
or
it be
not.
great trolling if you turn up in a
If he
beard?
turned up in a beard, and then they go, oh, we've got a surprise panel, and then they announce the name of future Lucasfilm projects, you're like,
Will they do a
baby.
future thing? They might do.
Well, they didn't. They did in London. I remember they did that, because that's when they announced
Solo.
Solo. And I think they talked about the last few seasons of Rebels and episode 8.
So long shot.
But
Game of Thrones guys. Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, I'm quite sure where the last one was Orlando, they didn't have a future panel.
Yeah, because they've got to announce
'Cause there's
something
nothing
soon
after-
with
yeah.
those guys. Cause
Well,
you're
there's literally no other
expecting
movies
2020.
announced.
Yeah,
So-
after 9, there's nothing. So,
So-
you got it. I reckon they'll have a future panel.
Yeah, that announce something with that. But most of the last few projects we've sort of heard through those Disney shareholders' phone calls.
And they got all, that's the
It
thing.
definitely won't be.
Got to buy some Disney shares. That's the only way to get in on. I
because
think we missed the boat.
End of year, isn't
Need
it?
to buy Disney shares about 10 years ago.
Was that November they did that? I feel like that
Yeah.
was
Well, let's get
November.
into it. The things that are announced in the Disney shares.
Yeah, let's get to
This
it.
actually isn't in the article. I just scrolled
Oh.
down. I was looking for it. They kind of go on to some other things, and they get stuck in. Brez
I
gets
guess
stuck
it
into
is more
comics.
2020 because they start filming.
Well, this is what I was going to get to. Is that we will mention it, which is the Cassian Andor series over here. Catherine. Every time Catherine comes over, we talk Cassian Andor. She's very happy, but
she starts blushing and
not likely filming until November.
oh, so it's November.
Does throw
I
a
saw
monkey,
October.
which does throw a monkey wrench in Celebration panel.
I reckon. I think the Diego would have to be there.
I don't know.
I think he'll just be there
I think
to feel the love and just to say, "Hey, we're filming."
You
it
can
this
probably
year.
feel the love from here.
Feel the
emanating out
love.
of this, yeah.
But like, just so he can say, oh no, we've got some great plans. I've read the script. We start filming it in October, November. You guys are gonna love it.
I think you're right, though, in the sense that
Maybe a video
Mandalorian.
message, maybe. I
A
don't know
video
whether he'd turn up
message.
for that.
yeah, a Mandalorian panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some kind of video message from Diego, or
It's not the same as being in the room, though, Catherine, and I could
Yeah.
see that you'd
if
be...
he was in the
breathing the same
room.
air.
If he was in the room, oh my god!
All of a sudden, a person's fainted in the crowd.
Yeah,
And it's
quick, get her
they're
out. Ah,
So
carry her to the front.
So some
Oh
of
my
my
gosh.
friends talked about for my birthday putting all in for getting an experience at Celebration.
Diego
like a
Luna
signing.
experience.
Oh, like paying if he does an autograph
Yeah.
session. Yeah.
Ah,
yeah,
yeah.
but of course my birthday's come and gone and they hadn't announced anything. So
Yeah. Well, you guys, I don't know. Would you guys do like photos and
It
signings? Is that your
depends.
kind of bag? Like,
Because
would you pay $100 to get a photo with Mark Hamill?
Oh, I think Orlando it was like $200 with Mark Hamill for a photo.
Yep.
See, I would because I'm like it's the once in a lifetime.
I
That's how I see it.
Yep.
And that's what that trip that for me Celebration is like once in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to probably ever going to do it again. So this is my chance. Yep.
All
I'll
right,
pay.
so you go to Celebration, you got 200 shekels in your pocket,
Republic credits.
Republic credits, and there's Mark Hamill, there's Harrison Ford, there's Liam Neeson, there's Ewan McGregor, all... And
Wow, you said
Daisy
no, you can
Ridley,
do
you can
one.
do one.
Ah.
don't be mean.
Oh my god.
No, I'm going into credit card debt. I'm going crazy.
Would you just be swiping your credit card
Yeah.
for all of
I
them?
think-
yeah.
Oh my god. You've really stumped me, Josh.
I think I'm of the opinion it is pretty much a once in a lifetime thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what goes through my head is that story of Steele going to, was it a Comic Con?
Oh, he missed out.
And he just missed out on seeing
Mark
Mark
Hamill.
Hamill. And how he
I think that
nearly
was
got.
Celebration.
But he also nearly got to interview him, like ask him
Yeah.
one question. These were
And then
two
he
different
walked
things.
past,
I've
yeah.
seen the footage on
It
that.
is.
Yeah.
I know no one else has. Maybe
Heartbreaking.
showed it to his mates, but I have actually seen it's. One day it'll be shown, but yeah.
He's described it, hasn't he, Catherine?
Yeah,
He
but
just walks by.
no, yeah, but this is another time, like
Yeah.
earlier, like at a Comic Con, when he had the opportunity to go to a photo, do a photo with Mark Hamill, and he didn't do it then, and then he decided to do it, and Mark Hamill wasn't there then
Yeah,
and wasn't
he's
coming
st-
back,
So-
and it
Yeah.
has broken my heart.
Because it's
I-
happened to him twice.
I
now.
can't quite deal with it.
I think he'll get to meet Mark Hamill one day.
I need it to happen because otherwise it's just too sad.
So, do you go Hamill because legacy character, or do you go? When's Ewan McGregor ever going to do this again? When's Liam Neeson ever going to do this again? When's Harrison Ford ever going to do this again?
See,
I don't know if Harrison's
like,
turning
growing up.
Oh no, I'm doing purely hypotheticals.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or if Natalie Portman
Like I
was
know,
there.
like Luke. Everyone likes Luke, and like I was always like Luke. I always looked up to him and stuff. But then then the prequels came out, and I just really got really attached to Qui-Gon, just his philosophy and all that.
So Liam, what if it was Liam
And I was
Neeson?
really
What if it
hard-
was okay? What if it was Liam Neeson in costume?
Liam Neeson.
What if Liam Neeson was in costume?
What, with the long...
Yeah, with the hair and he had the beard and everything.
Where's my daughter? I'll go to Liam Neeson and pay 200 and get a photo.
200
and
with-
shake
alright.
his man and go. I've been to Ireland. It's a fantastic place. Oh, where'd you go?
Oh, thank you very
Kinsale.
much.
Oh, it's a great place.
Oh, look, it's just playing out in front of our eyes. What about you, Catherine? I know you're saying you swiped the card.
But you would have to include Diego in there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, if Diego
Well, there you
Lehman was
go.
there too.
God, I'd just die.
Well, you can have a think about it, and we'll come back to it. So we're getting to the tail end of this. We've just too much good talk. A lot of this other stuff that Brez has got in the articles, a lot of comics stuff, but I will touch on Galaxy's Edge. So that is going to open mid-year. I think it's realistic to say that it'll be a while before I get there, which probably isn't a bad thing. It's going to be pretty crowded for a while.
A few years, I would say. And with the recent news of they've increased all their prices for passes.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, I think
I've
they
They
announced
were like
today.
annual passes or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
they've increased them.
What is an annual pass to Disney costume?
I think one price I saw was $7.23 for like a year,
Oh, God.
and now it's to like $7.99 or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's a year. I just saw that number.
Yeah,
and that's
right.
the increase. So from $7.29 to a $7.99. Like they're pretty.
That's for a year, though.
yeah.
Well, I think it's for a year. I'm not sure.
For a
I'm
day,
just-
it's like, oh, wow.
yeah.
No, it's not
It
for a
sounds
day.
like that would be a year thing.
Yeah, that would be an annual pass.
an annual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the Disneyland is opening about mid-year. Disney World is opening more in the fall.
Yep.
So-
the Galaxy's Edge
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think the Disney World you would think, because they have more space, they're very good at organising people. So potentially that could be the one that deals with crowds better.
Is that the one in Orlando?
Yes.
Yeah. I was listening to Canto Bite podcast, and Brittany was saying that they're a bit more like that over there.
Yeah.
Especially with their fast pass system and all
Yeah.
that. While in California, it's all like you have to pay for this and you only can do 3, and crowds are just everywhere. There's no organisation really.
And because Disney World is split up into all the different kingdoms, like they are separate parks, there is more space because Orlando is just a Disney town.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It is just Disney.
So
Have you seen
we're
Book of
best
Mormon?
to choose there
Orlando.
over California.
Have you seen Book of Mormon? No? Anyway.
Would you like recommend go to Orlando? Is that World?
Yeah, that's World.
Yeah, prefer to go to their Star Wars one than California.
I think in terms of Star Wars, yes.
Yeah.
They don't. You've got to just double check that they have all the rides that Disneyland do in terms of Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because when I went to Disneyland when I was very little, I made my dad come on. Was it the?
Hiccups?
No, the I want to say Peter Pan ride 7 times.
Is that
7 times.
Peter Pan? Is that the pirate ship?
No, that's Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's Pirates of the Caribbean. This is like an actual ride.
Yep.
Okay.
Like 7 times. And they didn't have it in Disney World when I went there with my friends 15 years ago. And I was a bit brokenhearted because I was like, I want to see what attracted me, what made me go on it 7 times.
That's strange that they don't have the same.
It's not 100% crossover, and they didn't have the Indiana Jones ride, which again
no.
I was a bit cross about. But that's something you could double check whether they've updated it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, if realistically, it'll be until
It'll be
the
years,
kids
yeah.
get older and,
Yeah.
it'll only get better.
Yeah.
Star Wars isn't going anywhere. So just to finish up here before we stick a pin in this, Resistance.
Yeah.
So the rest of Resistance is going to drop.
Got
I
better.
have to be honest, I've dropped
Ooh, hot
off.
take.
I haven't been watching it. I watched the first few, not because I didn't like it, I just haven't had time. It's
Yeah. I've watched it
I've
day
got-
to day.
Yep. So you're caught. You're fully
Yeah, I'm
caught
fully
up.
Yeah,
caught up.
fully caught up.
All right. So you guys obviously know more than I do, but generally happy with it.
Very much so. I think probably from episode 2 onwards, I've been on board.
Yeah.
Catherine's, are you watching out of obligation more than
Yeah,
fanning?
obligation. Look, the main character annoyed me a lot.
Yeah, Kaz,
But what annoyed me so much, I get it's a kid's cartoon
Yeah.
and it's acting like they do in a kid's cartoon. The thing is,
Yeah.
in a kid's cartoon, usually the main protagonist is about 10 or 11,
yeah, he's old.
whereas he's meant to be really realistically
mid-twenties.
19, 20,
Yeah.
if not a little bit more. So it is very annoying.
He's just
Does it
very-
feel like you're just watching one of your students flying a spaceship?
He is
Not even
goofy.
that.
He's
Like-
very goofy. Especially when the first daughter's around, he's being shot at. He's like, "Ooh, golly, ooh!"
Yeah.
Wow, you turned quickly. A minute ago, you were just like, "Yep, everything's
But other
cool."
than that, when he's good, he's good.
Yep.
As I say, it got better.
Yeah,
Yep.
He grew. Like he's growing up.
No, he didn't. Just
Touched a nerve here.
the sort of storyline behind things got better and it deepened the world. And I'm more interested in other characters apart from Kaz. But also, why is BB-8 there? I love BB-8, but BB-8
yeah.
should be with Poe. I'm sorry,
But
They belong
BB-8
together.
should be with Poe. Yes.
But BB-8's there to make sure Kaz is, doing his spying
Give
stuff.
him another droid.
Yeah, but it's all
There was
brand
another.
recognition,
There was
isn't it?
another BB. unit.
CB-23, I
Oh,
think.
wow,
Yeah.
that's a pull.
Or
Yeah.
CB-21.
So a little bit of division here,
But
So
it's good. I
we'll
like the
see-
humour. It's
No,
very
no,
funny.
I'll get
Niku's
to.
fantastic. He's
I'll
so
get
good.
to it. It's just
Yeah, no, I recommend it.
It's
definitely.
just time. I barely have time to do anything anymore.
And the animation's
Sorry.
good. I
the way
really
it
I
is.
don't. I don't like to be negative, Nancy.
That's all right.
or
But you got to
Debbie
say the
Downer.
animation's nice. The ships when they have the race. All right. I'm
Wow,
on my own
Catherine's
here,
corner.
Josh.
No, that's all cool.
But so, I know. But honestly, like I've enjoyed it. I would say from the first half, it's probably a 7.5
Yep.
out of 10.
The Galaxy of Adventures. They've been my jam. Like
oh, the
they're,
little
they're,
yep.
they're only little clips, but their animation style are far more what I've.
Will we see
liked.
more Forces of Destiny, or is that done?
I don't know.
I haven't
don't
heard
know.
anything.
I mean, I know that the toys didn't sell well. I don't
Yeah.
know. They sold well, but I think they just made too many of them because I got most of ours pretty cheap. But they're very popular in our house. The Forces of Destiny dolls. There's a buck naked Princess Leia in the lounge room right now who's had a indoor poncho pulled off and everything else for some reason. But anyway, that's another story. All right, guys, pretty good preview. Lots of exciting stuff to talk about. You'll all be in touch as the year goes on. I think as
Yeah.
the big things happen, we usually you're my go-to team for any time something happens.
Yeah, I'm your Cassian girl.
Well, there you go.
Cassian
She'll-
correspondent.
She'll get all the information.
Well, I mean, when we get the title, we'll talk titles, and I assume trailers, episode 9, will all be in a room together, or we'll be staring at a screen, or one of us got in and the third of us didn't get in. It might be who's willing to go the distance and sleep on a concrete floor overnight and all that
Happy
kind of
to
stuff.
do it.
And he right here is already committed. So, the rest of us might be out just at the pub, but we'll see. I think it'll just be who shows the most mettle. So you guys are about to get back onto the podcast, your podcast.
Yes, we will be. So look forward to that soon. That's all I'll say.
Yes, soon.
That's some good sizzle right there.
Yeah.
Social stuff? Anybody wants to catch
Yeah,
her?
you can follow us on that Geek Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm at Catherine_Kneen on Twitter. And if you saw it a little while ago after the Star Wars spelt out, I live tweeted while I watched Dirty Dancing 2, Havana Nights. And
At which time was that?
I've kept it on the Foxtel IQ.
Oh, there you go. Check that out.
There you go. Money well spent. That's the subscription money paid for right there. And your personal Twitter, Andy, if you want to give it out.
I'm that
Geek Andy.
Geek Andy. Yeah.
Very close. You know that
on
I
Twitter.
I do a Peppa Pig podcast with Matt Frost, who's a friend of everybody in the room here.
Frost.
And almost every time that I give out our Twitter thing, I say that Peppa Pig pod instead of Peppa Pig pod. For some reason, I always stick that in front of it. It's because of you guys, basically for some reason. But yes, if you're into Peppa Pig, you can find my Peppa Pig podcast.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's niche, but if you're into that kind of thing, and you can find us at Star Wars Spelt Out on all the socials, spelt out, StarWarsSpeltedout.com. So thanks again, guys.
No worries. Thank
Thanks.
you.
And we'll catch you later.
Bye.